with 25 and ending with 81.
That's my ID.
So I confirm that Mr. Peter Mugai Kiongo is the person who has been nominated to the position of CCM, Youth Empowerment, Sports and the Arts, and is the person who is before the committee.
You'll be required to take an oath affirming the information to be presented to the committee, and the legal counsel shall administer the oath. I hereby direct and advise the legal counsel to proceed and administer the oath.
Good afternoon. I, Peter Mungai Kiongo, do swear that the information that I shall give before this committee is truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you. I now request the honorable members of the committee and the committee secretariat to introduce themselves. I'll start with committee secretariat.
Mr. Chairman, I'm Karaja Gishahajer, and the nominee I am by those names, and I'm the committee clerk to this committee.
Thank you.
Joyce Gadura, part of the committee secretariat.
My name is Orodi Achege, part of the committee secretariat.
George Kamunya, part of the committee secretariat.
Peter Karano, part of the committee secretariat.
Wanjohi Gakio, part of the secretariat.
Thank you.
We can proceed with the honorable members.
Honorable Mwanginyaga, MCA Kaibaga, Majority Leader.
James Mogishoke from Engineer. I will declare that Mogai is my friend. We have worked together as my sub-county administrator, and he has served at one stage acting in the engineer ward. I know him well, but that is not going to affect my vetting.
Thank you.
Honorable Mary Kabiro, Majority Whip. I know Mr. Mongai. He's from my neighbor ward. For a long time, we have fought politically, but we have nothing apart from that. So I wish him well, that he may help the youth of this county.
Thank you, Honorable Mary. Now, having fought with him politically, he has found you again.
I am here again.
Yeah, but that has got no interest.
No interest.
Thank you.
I hope we both are a win-win situation.
Thank you.
Ibrahim Maina, representing Morogoro Ward. Mr. Mugai has been overseeing my ward as the sub-county admin. So on that issue, I declare no conflict of interest.
Thank you, Chair. Stephen Morevi from Kara Ward. Mungai has been a personal friend since the TNA time. We've been working together. But having said, I will not put friendship into today's vetting. It will be professional.
Good afternoon. My name is Honorable Sasha Wamai, the Deputy Minority Leader, nominated MCA, or rather specially elected. I don't think we have interacted at a personal level, so no vested interest.
Honorable Karo Jarara from Oljolorok, no interest.
Thank you. Honorable DS.
My name is Chege Gadirimo. I'm County Assembly Member for Geta and the Deputy Speaker. I have met Mr. Mungai on very limited times, and therefore there is no conflicting interest.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Members. My name is Honorable Shiro Iganjo. I am the Speaker, Nyandarua County Assembly. Equally, I have no interest. Maybe, Mr. Mungai, we will proceed. I want you to start with a brief introduction of yourself as you also go through the questionnaire that you had filled. Give us just brief introduction.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, our chair. My name, as indicated, is Peter Mungai Kiongo. I come from Mirangine Ward, where I grew up, but I was born in Nakuru County, but later moved to Nyandarua County, Mirangine, at a very early age of my life. That is at around grade standard 1. I went to Nyakambi Primary School. I cleared KCPE certificate in the year 2002. From there, I proceeded to Nyandarua High School, where I did my Form 4 KCSE certificate and passed and joined the University of Nairobi. From there, after clearing the University of Nairobi in the year 2012, that's when I graduated. I joined politics a little bit at a very early age, and I joined the National Alliance Party, where Honorable Muriithi and I met, and I became the national youth leader of the National Alliance Party, the county youth leader, not national, sorry for that, together with other members. From there, after the elections, I left politics, and I worked for Equity Bank at credit section as the relationship officer credit for 2 years. That's up to 2015. From there, I joined the county government administrator in charge of Mirangine Ward in the year 2015. That's February 2015. I worked as the ward administrator from 2015 to 2018, where I was promoted to the position of the sub-county administrator, and I was posted to Olkalau sub-county. I worked for 5 years up to the year 2022 December, when I was transferred from Olkalau sub-county to Kinangop sub-county. Initially, I was overseeing South Kinangop sub-county as the sub-county administrator in charge. But 1 year later, I was given both sub-counties, that is now the Kinangop and South Kinangop, where I'm working up to now, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Honorable members, we'll now field additional thematic questions to the nominee, as we earlier agreed. We can proceed. We can start with the Honorable DS.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Mungai.
Yes, sir.
Having worked with the youth at political level, and now will be at the policy level if successfully approved by the House via this committee, what measures will you put in place to make sure that the youth benefits directly from the county government?
Okay, thank you. From my understanding, from the Department of Youth, the little research I've done, we have not had a very clear youth policy in Nyandarua that guides how the youth benefit. And my first assignment when I join, if approved by this Honorable House, I will start by developing the youth policy that will be guiding on how the youth will be interacting with the county government, because youths are diverse. We have those youths who are skilled, we have the semi-skilled, at the same time we have those who are educated, who are not educated, and their needs are different. So to solve the problem, to interact with them, the best way I think is to develop a policy that will be guided by this house. If we need the act, we'll develop it and bring it to this house, which will guide me in ensuring the youth benefit with the county government programs and projects.
One more question, Mr. Mungai. What do you understand by the term youth empowerment, and what plans and programs would you put into place to achieve this?
Youth empowerment, basically, I think, is programs, very deliberate programs and initiatives by the government to ensure that the youth are empowered economically, given that is a group that is limited in opportunities are there. So I think empowerment to me is a very deliberate initiatives and programs by the government to empower the youth, to grow the youth economically. Sorry.
Any immediate programs or plans?
Mostly the immediate ones is about the skilling of our youth. You realize most of our youth outside there have a challenge of skills. Whereas we have very many technical institutions within, that is the vocational training centers, what you used to call the polytechnics, and we also have other institutions. And once we give these young men and women the skills, those who are unskilled and the semi-skilled, we proceed and certify them, such that will give them the opportunity to go to the outside world and seek for opportunities. I think we'll have done a great deal.
Thank you, Mr. Mungai. Wish you well. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable DS, Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Mungai. I'm so much happy with your response on the need to instill skills to our youth, because the next question indeed have an aspect of the youth having the skills, the right skills, and having been brought up in Nyandarua County, Mr. Mungai, I believe there are those instant microprocessing units or value addition programs that you feel that if these youth get this program, instantly it will create employment. Two, it will also increase returns to the youth groups and the rest. Hopefully, having been brought here, you have at your fingertips at least 3 programs that instantly, if you're given this chance, you will pump and implement. Two, there has been a gridlock between the county government and the national government in terms of the stadium, development of stadiums. And to be very specific, in this county, you know, there is a stadium which has been ongoing process for so many years now. The national government have been promising that they'll do something pertaining to this stadium, but nothing is happening. Now that you have been given, if you happen to be given this position, you know, we expect that you must get a solution on this, which is this approach to your own intuition, your own understanding, that you feel this is the way to go if it happens that the national government will not fund the project that they started some years back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll start by the first question by the honorable member. That's of And I think the most immediate ones are the agro, the milk. Our milk, that's a already raw product. So if the youth can engage in the milk and potato agro, what do you call them? Agro-processing initiatives. That's one of the areas, because the products are already available. The skills, we'll give the skills to the youth. And I think, but I will approach it differently. I think having interacted with the youth, I think the biggest challenge is not about the agro-processing. Our youth have a challenge in coming together to work together. That's the biggest challenge I will start by tackling. You realize if you bring 5 young men together and tell them, I want you to start, we start at this project, we work together. Along the way, they will not finish together. So as we look at those agro-processing industry or whatever, I think we'll also consider the component of bringing our young men and women together to ensure that we are able to tell them, or to convince them to work together. I don't know whether I've answered you. Okay, thank you. On the issue of stadium, I think the most immediate measure is making it usable for now. Because as it is now, most of the work has been done. From my research, the track is well put in place, and the field, a few works remaining. And I'm sure if the support of this house, we can look for small resources, first of all, to make it usable, as we pursue the national government and see how far they will have gone. If the national government will not come in, I will request the cabinet through His Excellency the Governor to start considering how we shall work on the stadium. But the most immediate one is to allocate some resources to ensure that as it is now, it is made usable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Minority.
Thank you. Kego, do you remember a guy who used to be called Wanjiru?
The athlete?
The athlete, yes.
Very well.
Since he left, may he rest in peace, do we have any other person who have been able to bring Nyandarua to the forefront and all that? And before you answer, are you aware that Nyandarua is considered part of the high altitude something?
Yes.
And what is this that you want to do to bring back Wanjiru? Not necessarily to bring him back to life, but which other Wanjirus are we able to produce, and what is this that you're going to do to ensure that we can reclaim the glory that we had in the athletic industry?
Thank you. I can confirm I knew Wanjiru, though not in person. But I can't recall of late an athlete who have, but there was one from Nyandarua, I can't recall, I think it's Mwangi or something. Karoki, very well, thank you, Mheshimiwa. There was Karoki who went to the national level, international levels. But for now, I would think I'll approach it by going back to the grassroots. I'll start by going to the very mashinani to encourage, but we have not very appreciated at the very local level the issues of athletics. Secondly, I'm happy that Nyandarua is a very high altitude area, and I'm privileged. Nyandudo area, that is in Mirangine, was cited as the best for training, and we'll explore on the possibilities in liaison with other bodies like the AK, on the possibilities of developing these high altitude areas for training purposes. Thank you.
Which sport do you engage yourself in? And you answer it together with how many times do you exercise in a day?
Thank you. I'm a data together with Honorable Gathirimu. We always meet in darting events. So my best sport is darting. But exercise, we do exercise in the morning, maybe thrice per week.
I'm okay, Chair.
Maybe Honorable DS, you can confirm. Is that the position?
Yes, I can confirm that he's a very good data, and in future I'm considering engaging him as a coach.
Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Mary Kabiru.
Mr. Mungai, I want to join my question to the minority leader. In Nyandarua, we have very famous musicians. We have the kinds of Samido, Waiganjo, the Gatutura guy, Kamoko, and others. What plans do you have to ensure that these musicians mentor our own young talents and partner with the county government to establish Nyandarua as a hub for music?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. And before I answer, I want to confirm that our differences are majorly political,
yes,
not personal. So I will reach out to these great men and women from Nyandarua County. Some of those are who are personal friends to me. And I will ensure and encourage them to come back and work with us in promoting talents. We had one, my friend by the name Jose, who had an initiative, Jose Gatutura, an initiative for talent search. I have not established how far it has gone. I'll be willing and ready to reach out to them to know how far they have gone. Additionally, a few years ago, we had a county recording studio, though it was majorly audio. And my first priority projects, I think, is to bring back that studio to life. And not only the audio studio, even making it visual, to ensure that those young men and women from the village, from the local mashinani, who have talents and do not have money, because the biggest challenge of our musicians is resources to record music. If, as a county, we can develop a mechanism whereby we shall be subsidizing greatly the youth when they are producing the music, I'm sure it will be beneficial to these young men and women in liaison with those who have gone before them. Thank you.
Mr. Mungai, a second question, please. What do you think about the betting that is happening at the dens where the youths meet? Does it have any economic value for this county? You and me know, in those small rooms, apart from the betting, there is a lot of bad things that happen. Guys, young people are using those dens to use the drugs we are against. How do you intend to implement public entertainment and amenities that will be clean, such that even if my own went there, I am at peace?
Thank you. Personally, as an individual, I highly disapprove the betting machines, especially in Nyandarua County. I have been the biggest critic of those betting machines, and at some point, the government removed all the charges that are associated with betting to discourage any betting machine. But that was not the solution from my where I sit, because at national level, betting is illegal. So it becomes very difficult to tell someone not to put a betting machine or anything related to betting, whereas we have a betting and licensing control board at the national level. So I will approach it by maybe developing a law, just like the way we do it in liquor. We develop a law guided by this house that will prescribe on how betting should be done within the county. And I think especially regulating on time is very critical. Two, we also need to designate betting zones, so that I know when I see Mheshimiwa Kabiru heading to a certain location, that's a betting area. And socially, if it's not acceptable, you'll shy away from going to the place. But basically, we need to develop a law through the guidance of this assembly, that we regulate betting in Nyandarua.
Thank you, Honorable Ibra.
Thank you, Chair. I have a question to Mr. Mungai. Mr. Mungai, are there any challenges facing the sector or the department to which you have been nominated? And if they are there, how are you going to address them when appointed?
Thank you. Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Youth have very many challenges, but I think the biggest one is that of expectation. The current youth expect that if I finish school, I should start driving in the next 1 year or the next 6 months. So you find the youth are not willing to start low, to start from the ground, and it is my responsibility and duty to ensure that I engage these young men and women to tell them we can do farming just the way like our parents used to do, but it is a better farming. You start from the ground and you grow gradually, rather than expecting you'll plant today and the other minute you are harvesting. So the biggest challenge for now, I think is our expectation from the young men and women, on top of other challenges like that of unemployment and drug and substance abuse.
Thank you. Let's proceed, Honorable Matimu.
Thank you, Chair. Mine will be brief. Question one, we have a very big disconnect between our youths and the government. And when I talk about the youths, I'm referring to the Gen Zs. What will you do if given this opportunity to fill the gap so that at least these youths can feel that they're part of the government?
Thank you. I agree with you much more that there's a disconnect between the young men and women and the government. And I think the biggest, the reason for the disconnect is lack of clear engagement. We don't have a clear mechanism on how we engage our young men and women and then educate them on how the government operates. Because I've seen it in the tendering industry, whatever, working with the government, that is a tender. The young man do not know how he will fill the tender documents, but he will complain that the government is not giving them tender, whereas there are requirements by the law how you should go about it. So I think that the way to go about it is engaging them continuously through every platform, whether digital, face-to-face, and other public participation forums that are available.
Last one is on county games. We've seen a situation whereby our youths have been engaged in football games, to be precise, and even in governors' tournament. And once these tournaments are over, they have to wait again for another calendar year for the same to happen. What will you do if given this opportunity to nurture this talent? At least we see and find that our young talented boys feature on national teams.
Thank you. The first one is to work closely with football organizations like the AK and other bodies. First of all, to appreciate that we have talents in Nyandarua. We bring them on board, we make them our friends. Two is going to the local level, mashinani level, where after these talents, because after these talents are established, we can grow them, bring them to the sub-county level, bring them to the county level, where they'll be scouted by these teams. And I think when we finish the gaming activities, the football activities, then we keep quiet. That's where the problem comes in. We need to continuously engage in these small leagues. Plan at a league like from Kinangop to play with Al-Kalau to play with, encourage the young men to continuously keep keep sporting, that is football. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honorable Sasha Wamai.
All right, thank you, Chair. Mr. Mungai.
Yes, Mheshimiwa.
I know you understand that Nyandarua is a home of renowned musicians. Yeah?
Very well.
We have the likes of Akina Samidu, Atutura. I know you can list them endlessly.
Very.
What plans? Because they have been on the surface another peak for some time now, but we are not seeing we are not seeing the youths who will take after them. For instance, if they are wiped out, yeah. So, what plans do you have if you get this job, to ensure that the musicians and mentor emerging talents and partner with the county government to establish Nyandarua as a hub for music? How will you bring that connection between those experienced musicians and the upcoming ones? Because clearly, as of now, on the ground, there are so many young people who are so talented, and you can feel if they are supported in the right way and shown, how to go through the ropes of being renowned musicians, they will get so far. But for now, there is a disconnect. What role will you play, and how will you do it to ensure that we have another generation of these renowned artists?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. And
I enjoin my two questions.
Okay.
The other question I have is on resource allocation to the youths, sports and art. How will you ensure they are used, the resources are used effectively and equitably, so that we do not promote the kazi kwa vijana na pesa kwa wazee, as we put it? Because we have so much on youth, but the allocation is low, the management, the evaluation, the monitoring, there is a whole issue around that. How will you ensure that you work around it to ensure the youths benefit, the actual youths benefit?
Very true. I'll start with the second question, Mheshimiwa, and I'll be their number one advocate as their team leader. And I'll be involving them in decision making at different levels. As I had indicated, their youths are diverse. We have those who are different needs. And one of the ways is to develop a database of skills for these young men and women at the ward level, so that if you know you have interest in a certain sector, in a certain ward, you'll be able to engage the real young men and women in that industry. For instance, if it's something to do with construction, you have a database for youth involved in construction, like the masons and the likes. It will help you to reach to the real young man and woman, rather than asking for documents, which I can use a young man document, but I'm not a young person. So I'll personally be involving them in all the decision making. When it comes to the issue of musicians, as I had indicated, I'll be reaching out to them, and I had indicated that I'll involve them when we'll be constructing the studio. I understand it was vandalized, so we have to put it up afresh, and I'm sure, given the goodwill they have shown before, they will be willing to work with the county government, so long as we are willing. Thank you.
Chair, I think I'm satisfied with his answers. We will be here to watch.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Sasha. You can proceed, Honorable Caroline.
I have one question for you. Given the emergence of many cottage industries, how do you intend to make blue-collar jobs more attractive to the youth of this county?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. As you have indicated, we have so many young people involved in blue-collar jobs, or what outside there, the mechanics, the mercenaries, and all that. But most of them are not certified. If I'm a contractor and I'm required to produce, I'm required to have masons, and they all require that they should be certified. Most of the youth will be left out. So one of the areas is to engage our local training institution to ensure that the semi-skilled youth in the blue-collar job are certified. We have one program with Mheshimiwa Mwangi at Engineer, whereby we are collecting all of them, those who are in the industry, but they do not have the certification. That one will encourage them more. I believe it is encouraging them more. I have interacted with them at Engineer, and they are liking the whole program. So I hope, and we request the support of this House to replicate the same in other wards, so that we can encourage the young men. I'll also use technology. If I'm a mechanic, and I'm used to spanner and the tools, and most of these young men and women I'm not well versed with the technology that is in the industry right now. I'll try to encourage them and promote them in adopting technology in their industry, which I'm sure it will entice them in the industry. Thank you.
Honorable Ngeshi.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Paul Geche Wambaire, MC Kipipiri. During introduction, I was not around. That's why I have just discovered I need to introduce. Hongera Bwana Mungai, that you have been appointed by His Excellency the Governor for Nyandarua, Dr. Kerry Badirisha. Why were you appointed and not any other person?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. I believe I have the relevant skills to serve the young people of Nyandarua.
Of course, there are so many people with skills. What is that unique in you?
The passion for the young men and women.
The passion for the young men and women.
Yeah.
I will take you to the contemporary issue. You know Gen Z?
Very well.
Have you heard of Gen Z?
Yes.
Why did they go to the streets?
I believe they were not listened to by the government. That's why they went to.
Have you listened to the Gen Z for Nyandarua?
Yeah, I'm trying to listen to them.
What are they saying?
In reference to what, Mheshimiwa? In reference to...
What have you heard them saying?
One, I believe in matters of youth engaging the government, there has been a disconnect between the Gen Z and the government. That's the biggest area of concern for now. The disconnect between how we interact between the Gen Z and the government is an area that we need to address.
How much do you require for engagement?
Just the goodwill, and then and which I have.
What have you come to solve?
The challenges facing the young people of Nyandarua.
What are the challenges?
The challenges, most of the challenges, as I had indicated.
Not most. What is reading?
Over expectation, and from whatever they are doing.
How will you solve that?
Engaging them and showing them how. Continuously engaging them.
Now we have a span of, you see, this is a political. You have a span of 2.5 years left. Your engagement will go up to when now?
Engagement is a continuous process, Mheshimiwa, and it should not Okay, once we form a habit, it will become a culture. I'm sure the legacy will live.
So tomorrow, you're telling this committee that we should scrap the budget for the youth because now you've not engaged them. So that you start by engaging them, so you don't know exactly what they want.
The youth of Nyandarua require employment. The youth of Nyandarua require empowerment. The youth of Nyandarua require skilling.
Very good. Now employment. So once approved, how many are you going to employ?
Promoting through the blue collar, whatever you call the blue collar job. I'm sure it's quite okay. I can't quantify, but it's a number. I'll try my best.
Not trying, eh? You see, because when we want to break the news there that we have a new CCM, and now you are going to get employment. See, if we stated the three things: empowerment, employment, skilling. Maybe now you tell us this employment is set for the coming, or is just an empty promise. You see, in this country we have been having the problem of empty promises, and that is why you see even the youth going to the street. Have you been able to have a plan of how you are going to employ them? Do you have a plan?
Mheshimiwa, I hope you are not in reference to formal employment, because employment can be informal. Once this young man is empowered, you have employed him. If this young man engages in agro-processing, if this young man is engaged in farming, that is what we call agribusiness, that is a form of employment, and that's what is lacking. Once you give this young man a skill, you have employed him.
Let me cite an example. Take Kamau from Kipipiri, who has got no idea of where to get employed, where to get empowered. Maybe cite an example and tell us, now you see, once I sit there, this is how I will do it. Can you put some money in Kamau's pocket?
Currently, with the digital world, I hope I will use the opportunities that are there in the digital world to tell Kamau that there are so many opportunities online. Also, I'll tell Kamau that employment is not necessarily going to the office wearing a suit. I'll tell Kamau that agribusiness is employment, and among others, depending now with the skill level, depending with the capacity of Kamau.
Yeah. We go by fact and figures. How many youths do we have around Nyandarua?
I can say they are below that, between 18 years to 34 years, which is the constitutional defined age of youth, is around 25% of the population. That's around 150,000.
150,000?
In average.
In average. Good responses. Mention something on skilling.
Skilling, we'll partner very closely with our local institutions, that is the vocational training centers. I'll be calling upon this assembly to give us some resources, to appropriate some resources that will be channeled to our vocational training centers, which we will use as centers of skill development for the young men and women in Nyandarua.
Very well. Were you interviewed?
Yes, I was.
Where? When? By who?
By the appointing authority.
You had the governor there?
Among others.
Among others?
Yes, sir.
So, Chair, I bring your attention to a document in the file that But you need to expurge this because it is not true. It's a document that has been brought to the committee, that has been fed to the committee, because I cannot see the name of His Excellency the Governor from my file.
Yeah, maybe we'll discuss that when we retreat as a committee. In the meanwhile, we can proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Finally, there was a letter that you wrote, application letter. Are you aware of that letter?
Yes, I did.
Dated?
Can't recall the specific date, but it was around the month of November or October, thereabout.
And you've said that you wish to apply for the position of County Executive Committee member.
Very true.
In the Department of Youth Empowerment, Sports and Arts.
Very true.
And also you have gone ahead and said that I'm serving as the sub-county administrator in charge of Kinangop sub-county.
Very true.
And previously you had worked in Olkarau sub-county.
Very true.
The Miragine ward as ward administrator.
Yes.
What will happen to the sub-county that you have not worked, and now that you are the CCM for the entire county? What will happen? Because you will be maybe you will be having a spot ranking of where you had worked previously, and now that you see I cannot see Kipipiri here, I think maybe we will be missing in terms of development.
Mheshimiwa, I can assure you I'll serve the entire Nyandarua County.
You serve the entire county?
Yes.
Now that you were sub-county administrator in charge of Kinangop sub-county, what happens if approved?
Where decisions are made, and considering what has been happening to the ward admins, I'm sure you're aware of the challenges that they have. Key among them, the issue of office and the issue of allowances. What will you, how will you use your position as a cabinet member to help your colleagues who are suffering out there? The other one is on the issue of bursary. I'm sure one of the key role of an ward admin is distribution and issuance of bursaries. And almost 90 to 100% of the people who benefit, or the students who benefit with bursary, are young people. We have not had any follow-up case whereby we are told that these young people, those who have benefited, are excelling in this line, or what are they doing? We have had cases of orphans being supported by the county government. We have not seen a report of what they are doing in school, or even after school, or even whether they got an employment or something like that. What are you going to do so that at least we can get this report as a house?
Thank you. I'll start by the first one, the admins. I appreciate them. They have been my biggest supporter since I got this opportunity. And I'll use the opportunity to advocate for them at the cabinet level. I'll make the cabinet understand better the challenges. And at the same time, I'll be closely working with my counterpart in public administration to help address some of these challenges, which I'm very well privy to. On the issue of bursary, Mheshimiwa, I can assure you, we have so many success cases of the bursary beneficiaries. And the most immediate one, I can confirm that my immediate predecessor, if approved by this house, was a bursary beneficiary of a bursary program, Katase Mirangine Ward bursary program, and among many others who have been calling me, thanking the county for the bursary programs that we have had. So I have so many success cases we have had. The only thing I agree with you 100% that we are not documenting these success cases, but in the field there are so many.
Thank you for your response. Maybe I now invite Mr. Mungai to make your closing remarks.
Thank you, Chair. I'll start by appreciating this Honorable House for giving me the opportunity to appear before you for this vetting process. And I also appreciate that the discussion has been very cordial. And secondly, I appreciate His Excellency the Governor for giving me the opportunity to serve the young people of Nyandarua and assure this House and the Governor and the people of Nyandarua that I will serve them diligently, and I will serve the young men and women of Nyandarua with passion, closely in consultation with this House whenever we need to make decisions. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Can you check that you have all your original documents? And maybe at this time, I will request the most youthful member of the County Assembly to escort you, and that is the Honorable Sarah Gemawamai. Thank you. And Mr. Mungai is just to escort you, then she come back.